Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kevin Koskos, and I am the proud principal here at Dakota High School. Graduates, you may be seated. I would like to welcome everyone here today, students, parents, families, and friends, to the third of three 2021 Dakota High School commencement ceremonies. Today, yeah, yes, I would clap for that one too. Today, it will be our privilege to celebrate over 680 graduates as they've crossed this stage over the course of the day. 23 years ago, I attended Dakota's very first commencement ceremony. 245 students graduated as part of Dakota's first graduating class in 1998. The commencement ceremony for the entire graduating class was held at 7 p.m. on a Friday night in Dakota's gymnasium. Today we will be honoring Dakota's 23rd graduating class, and after today, the class of 2021 will forever be a part of Dakota's history. At this time, I would like to invite members of the mixed varsity choir under the direction of Mr. Alex Walker to the stage to perform our national anthem. We invite everyone to stand as we honor America, as well as the men and women of our armed forces.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you to the choir. Beautiful job, as always. As we begin today's ceremony, I'd like to take a moment to introduce important members of our district and school leadership teams, all of whom work tirelessly to provide the best possible educational experience for our students on a daily basis. I will start by introducing the members of the Chippewa Valley Board of Education. Our board secretary, Ms. Elizabeth Pyden. Our board treasurer, Ms. Jill Demink-Zek. And one of our board trustees, Mr. Robert Wotovich. From our central office administrative staff, I'd like to introduce our district superintendent, Mr. Ron Roberts. Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, Dr. Donald Broski. Executive Director of Secondary Education, Mr. Paul Sibley. And our Executive Director of Innovation and Learning, Mr. Walt Kozlowski. I'd like to also introduce our building level administrative team from Dakota High School. Principal of the 9th Grade Center, Mr. Jonathan Jones. Assistant Principal, Mr. Jason Braveris. Assistant Principal, Mrs. Ebony Carter. Assistant Principal, Mr. Tom Downham. Assistant Principal, Mr. Anthony Maniscalco. Our administrative intern, he's not up here on stage, but he deserves recognition for being an integral part in planning all of our commencement ceremonies, Mr. Brian Hayes. And I would also be remiss if I did not recognize two other individuals for helping to plan today's ceremony, as well as all of our senior activities this year. I'd like to thank our two senior class advisors, Dr. Tony McFarland and Ms. Tracy Tancredi. Their dedication and creative thinking to help recognize and celebrate our seniors during this most unusual year deserves recognition and tremendous appreciation. Thank you, Dr. McFarland and Mrs. Tancredi. Now we will take a moment to honor and recognize 10 members of the Dakota High School teaching staff, all of whom will be retiring at the end of this school year. For those retiring staff members that are in attendance with us at today's ceremony, please stand up when your name is read. Congratulations to the following staff members on your upcoming retirement. Mr. Joe Andary, Mr. Dave Bassett, Mr. Mike Carr, Ms. Ann Farrow, Mr. Mark Farrow, who is here with us. Mr. Farrow, congratulations. Ms. Jill Fringer, Ms. Renee Licavoli, Mr. Brad Morris, Ms. Laura Morris, and Ms. Laura Thiel. We wish all of our 2021 retiring teachers all the best. It has been an honor to call each and every one of them a colleague for all these years. You will be missed. Congratulations once again. And to the Dakota High School class of 2021. You came into DHS in the fall of 2017 as wide-eyed, energetic, loud freshmen bounding through the halls of DHS 9. Over the years, you have grown academically and personally, especially during these last 14 months since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. I have been truly impressed with what you've accomplished and how you've persevered, and look forward to what amazing things your futures hold for you. While at Dakota, you've done some amazing things, and you've had a multitude of experiences. You've celebrated together, you've cried together, and you've experienced things you'll never forget. Many of you created those unforgettable moments participating in the wide variety of student club and activity groups that our school offers. With that said, I'd like to take time to point out that as a recognition of their involvement in school and clubs and activities, many of our students are wearing an assortment of activities cords with their caps and gowns at today's ceremony. A listing of the 22 different cords being worn by this year's graduates is provided in the commencement program booklet. Perhaps our greatest point of pride this year is the fact that we are graduating 279 seniors with academic honors, with those students having earned a 3.50 or better GPA. These accomplishments are a result of the high standards we set at Dakota, combined with our students' commitment and dedication to meet those standards and surpass them with flying colors. This year's graduating class includes 114 students graduating with a cumulative grade point average of 3.50 to 3.74. Wearing cum laude medals signifying graduating with honor with a yellow ribbon, will our cum laude graduates please stand up, turn and face the audience, and be recognized. The class of 2021 also included 70 students graduating with a cumulative grade point average of 3.75 to 3.89, earning magna cum laude with high honor status. Wearing magna cum laude medals with a yellow ribbon, will our magna cum laude graduates please stand, turn, face the audience, and be recognized. And finally, we have 94 students graduating this year with a cumulative grade point average of 3.90 or higher, earning summa cum laude with highest honors status. Wearing summa cum laude medals with a yellow ribbon will our summa cum laude graduates please stand, face the audience, and be recognized. Ladies and gentlemen, how about one more round of applause to recognize all of our students graduating with honors today. And now to the class of 2021, I'd like to share some reflections on the 2021 school year and some thoughts looking ahead. What a year it has been for all of our students, especially our seniors. The anticipation of what was to come began last spring as the class of 2020 left us. What was senior year going to be like for the class of 21? Questions began to get answered as we worked our way through August, and school board meetings became must-see TV as our dedicated board did its best to navigate uncharted waters and balance the need to provide the safest possible learning environment while also delivering the best possible education for our district's 15,000 plus students. It started with remote learning, and it ended with full face-to-face learning that didn't materialize quite as perhaps everyone envisioned, and included a new state of existence for our students, the state of being called virtually present. We came up with an attendance code for it and everything. But with all that the 2021 school year has been now in the rearview mirror, and the pandemic seemingly nearing its end, the biggest questions are now no longer, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? Are they going to send us back to school? Are we going remote? Are they going to lift the restrictions? We are now at the point where we're shifting into a reflective phase to a degree, and we should be asking ourselves, what have we learned from this entire experience? What will we repeat and hold on to because those things were good? And what can we look back on to pledge to do our best to prevent from never happening again? Dakota's mission is to maintain a sharp focus on learning. If the COVID pandemic has taught us anything, it's that learning goes well beyond the classes listed in our course book. This pandemic and the challenges it has brought offer one of the perhaps the most best and greatest learning experiences any of us will ever know. The fundamental question is, what will we do with that opportunity? My challenge to our graduates is to reflect upon the last year plus and think about what you've accomplished as well as where you've been and where you are at right now as a young adult. COVID has forced many of you to grow up in certain ways much faster than any of your predecessors. So in some regards, you are more ready for the real world than any graduating class before you. But at the same time, you've also been forced to live parts of your life in ways that perhaps haven't been as beneficial, most notably the distance and sometimes the isolation that virtual aspects of life have required. In many respects, the virtual life brings convenience and ease, but it also brings with it the potential to lapse into bad habits and unproductive or unhealthy patterns. Be mindful and be on guard to protect yourself in that regard. And more than anything, I urge you to be truly present all the time. Truly present, not virtually. You never know what you've got until it's gone, and you never know when true opportunities may present themselves. You want to be there. Don't miss out because you've checked out. Stay checked in. Stay engaged with all aspects of your life, your family, your friends, your education, your career. Sure, an occasional FaceTime call or Zoom meetup is okay, but never lose sight of the power of true connection. And finally, I also encourage you to think about the importance of community in being part of something bigger. COVID required everyone to make sacrifices and adapt to new ways of life in order to protect one another's safety and ultimately make it to the end of the pandemic when things can go back to normal. Along the way, there have been divisive events and seasons of time that have tested our commitment to one another. As we emerge from the pandemic and you set your sights on your future, I implore you to be a uniter and not a divider. Channel your engagement in life I just mentioned to do good, bring people together, and humbly contribute to things bigger than yourselves as individuals. You, our community, our country, and the world will indeed ultimately be better for it. Thank you to the class of 2021, and thank you to everyone here who has supported our graduates along what has been an unforgettable journey. Students, we wish you all the best as you move on to this next phase of your lives as high school graduates. You have done us proud during your time here at DHS, and you will leave here today officially as proud alumni of Dakota High School. Know that you will always be welcome at your high school alma mater, and always be proud to be a Dakota Cougar. Thank you. It is now my distinct pleasure to welcome Mr. Ron Roberts, our district superintendent, to say a few words. Mr. Roberts has been a dedicated educator and leader in our district for years, and he is one to look up to. He is a successful educator, natural leader, and a true supporter of students. Mr. Ron Roberts.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to our parents and other family members, and especially our students. To our parents, thank you for allowing us to educate your child who is graduating today. There are a lot of choices when it comes to educating your children. Thank you for choosing Chippewa Valley Schools. Thank you to you, our students, for all that you have contributed to this district. School districts are much more than a collection of buildings. They are really about what occurs in those buildings. Our jobs as educators is to provide you opportunities for learning, for exploration, for growth, for challenge, for experience, for collaboration, for understanding yourself better as a person, for understanding others better as people, for learning to accept the differences in others, whether that be gender, ethnicity, skin color, orientation, and just as important, for learning to value the strengths in those differences, for it is these differences which provide the backbone or strength right now, and maybe even more so, to the future of our nation. That's what we do. We provide opportunities. Figuratively speaking, we just set the table. What you do is provide the open mind necessary to lead in your own learning and the drive to excel. This will be true throughout your life. It will not be about what others do for you. It will be about what you contribute, what you bring to the table. Students, my biggest joy as superintendent is to witness to what you bring to the table. Experiencing your drive and dedication is so fulfilling to me as an educator. Whether this is in the classroom, on the stage, on an athletic field, or anywhere else within an educational setting, you motivate me. You make me want to be better at my job. As you move on, be mindful of what it is you love to do and what you are good at doing, and let this always lead you on your path forward. It is now time to start your next chapter, to seek out new adventures. As you leave us, I ask that you consider what you have experienced in the last 16 months. Sir Winston Churchill is famously quoted as saying, near the end of World War II, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." Think about your experiences during this time of uncertainty. Did you think about your priorities? Did you consider what was important to you? If there ever was a time for self-reflection, it is now. As you move on, always consider the greater good as you conduct yourselves, and always consider how your actions and words impact others. Keep in mind, your actions and words represent who you are. So here are a few thoughts on how you can have a greater impact. Accept more, reject less. Compliment more, criticize less. Seek to understand more, judge less. Reach out more. Isolate yourself less. Look to the future more, to the past less. Consider what you can control more. Worry about what you can't less. Get in the action more. Sit on the sidelines less. Smile more. Frown less. Live in the moment more. Be distracted by your phone less. One more. You can improve the world simply by asking yourself this question before posting on social media. Is this helpful or hurtful? Students, I know there is much excitement for what lies ahead. We expect nothing but great things as you make your way in the world. All I ask is that you remember where you came from. From this day forward, you will always be a graduate of the Chippewa Valley Schools. Best of luck to the 2021 graduating class of Dakota High School. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. And now I would like to introduce Ms. Selena Fadhil. Selena, as our senior class president, has worked tirelessly to make our school what it is, and I am proud of the leadership she has shown this year. Selena will now share a few words on behalf of the senior class. Yep, hold on to that page for you.
Good afternoon, family, friends, faculty, and fellow graduates. It is an honor for me to be speaking in front of you today. First, I would like to thank all of you, from teachers to friends and family, for being in attendance this afternoon. You have all had a profound impact on the development of the students that will be graduating today, and I feel that it is safe to say that I speak on behalf of Dakota High School's graduating class of 2021 in thanking you for all the efforts that you have invested in us to this day. Next, to my classmates. Just 4 years ago, we stepped into the 9th grade center, starting our high school careers. Excited, nervous, and scared all at the same time, we met new people and made unforgettable memories with the friends that we knew would be with us for the years to come. We had our very first homecoming, freshman pep rally, and we made our promise to be here and graduate today during our bridge ceremony. Sophomore year came around and we walked into the big building for the first time. So many more people in one building compared to the previous year, yet most were strangers to us. Having to adapt to all the new changes during this time was a challenge. Many of us got lost within the endless number of pods and never-ending hallways, but eventually we made our way through it all. Junior year. We started the year off with exciting festivities like the homecoming parade, football games, the school dance, and pep rallies, as well as Spirit Week. Time was flying by, and it was almost time for us to take one of the most important tests that we would face until midway through March. See you in 2 weeks was all we would hear as we unknowingly walked out of Dakota's doors for the last time in almost a year. And now, senior year. It's nothing like we thought it would be. Even though we didn't get to experience the same things past graduates did, we made our own mark. Instead of having the proper first day of school or normal sports seasons, a school musical, band or choir concerts, or club activities, we became the epitome of living history. We still had our football games, Spirit Week, handprints, club meetings, and much more as we slowly began to adapt. As high school seniors, we lost a lot, but we gained so much more. We learned to make the most of any situation we're thrown into, even if it's a full-blown global pandemic. We wouldn't have been able to do it without the caring support systems we have in our lives, including our staff who have been there for us for the past 4 years, watching us grow into the people we are today. Finally, to the class of 2021. I think it's clear to us all that we've been through so much, but we did it. We made it through everything life has thrown at us. We've accomplished one of the largest milestones in our lives, high school graduation. In the wise words of C.S. Lewis, there are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. So as we walk across this stage today, just remember everything you've done to get here, everything you've been through and fought for to get up on the stage with your classmates as we are handed our diplomas and we flip our tassels. Congratulations and thank you all.
Thank you, Selena. It is now my pleasure to introduce a special group of vocalists to the stage for our musical interlude. Here to perform My Way are seniors Andrew Deacon, Blake Gura, Nathaniel Lyons, Tyler Pipp, Fox Primo, Zachary Telly, and Caden Zmia.
And so I face the final curtain. My friend, I say it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Regret, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew, and through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my way.
Great job once again. It's been great all 3 times today. Wonderful job, guys. Thank you so much. And now I invite Kate Ryan to the stage to introduce this year's staff commencement speaker.
As we embarked on the journey of high school, we look forward to the rites of passages, the football games, homecoming, etc. Memories we will carry with us the rest of our lives. The key to looking back on these memories with fondness, however, is knowing that we had a support system behind us every step of the way. However, we didn't realize how important that support system would be when the COVID-19 pandemic happened. The staff at Dakota had to transform their teaching styles and approach to best accommodate students during this weird time in our lives, and some managed to be a highlight of our senior years. Ms. Tancredi happens to be one of the educators that brightened her students' final years at Dakota and best accommodated students during these strange times. She's a University of Michigan graduate, mother of 2, coffee lover, Star Wars fanatic, and an inspiration. Speaking from personal experience as a student of hers and executive board member of Senior Class Council, a club she advises, I can say she is one of the most empathetic and dedicated teachers I've come across, acknowledging her students as young adults with opinions and feelings, making her approach enjoyable and comfortable for students, yet will push them out of their comfort zone. Even with our strange circumstances, she managed to make her class a safe space where not only literature lessons were taught, life lessons were taught, all while challenging her students to think outside of the box. Students past and present praise her warm demeanor and undeniable passion as a catalyst for their growth in her class and beyond. I'm beyond privileged to have worked with such an amazing educator. Without further ado, Ms. Tancredi.
Thank you, Kate. Good afternoon, graduates, staff, and families. I'm sorry, am I on mute? Is anyone there? Let's rewind to the good old pre-pandemic days. It's a Sunday afternoon, and I'm sitting in Starbucks with a stack of essays. Typical English teacher life. Headphones in, I'm listening to some grading music and fueling my caffeine addiction. A man comes up to me and taps me on the shoulder. I look up confused in the middle of my grading marathon. "Are you a teacher?" he asks. "Yes, I teach high school English," I reply. He pauses for a moment, and with a grimace on his face, he says, "Ugh, teenagers, they're the worst. I don't know how you do it." I pause. This is a moment that I'm sure many of my fellow colleagues have had one time or another. I collect my thoughts and I tell him the truth. My students are amazing. They work hard. They're intelligent. They're passionate. I could have dismissed him with a quick, "Yeah," but instead I told him the truth, my truth, the truth that I will defend and have dedicated my last 16 years to. In my classroom, I encourage students to find truths in literature and in life. I am inspired by Dr. Clint Smith, a poet and former teacher who in his TED Talk, The Danger of Silence, lays out 4 rules of his classroom. Read critically, write consciously, speak clearly, tell your truth. I show this video the first week to all of my English 12 seniors. These 4 tenets are the goal of any English teacher, and I would argue, make for a successful life. Today, I want to share with you some truth. This year has been a difficult one, full of many hard truths. But instead of focusing on the negative, focus on all that you have become and the truths you've discovered about yourselves. Here are my truths. Teaching in a pandemic is difficult and isolating. Remote learning is even harder. I'm thankful for the moments of laughter and chaos in my classroom. Whether it was memes in the chat box or off-topic conversations about snackies and the movie Clueless. In fact, I cried tears of joy the first time I had to tell my class live in front of me to put themselves on mute. I learned compassion. My mantra to my students this year was, "Your mental and physical health is more important than any assignment in my class." Take those moments to take care of yourself, to breathe, to just be okay. Be vulnerable. I have cried more times this year in front of my seniors than I have in many years. Whether it was the state of the world, pandemic fatigue, struggling with my own mental health, or just frustration with life, I realized it's okay to be human and show your truth to others. Being vulnerable and having compassion are the greatest takeaways I can share with all of you. Life isn't perfect. It isn't fair. I sure haven't figured it out yet, and I probably never will. It's okay to admit that you don't know everything. It's okay to have a bad day. It's okay if you got so far behind in your senior project that your English 12 teacher, shout out Mr. McLeod and Miss Barr there, your counselor, your parents, your principal, or even Mr. Roberts was constantly nagging you to do something, anything. But you know what? You're here today, you showed up, and you did it. You did it for you. So go out in the world and find your truth. Tell your truth and live your truth. Speak out against injustice. Stand up for what is right. Be a voice for those who cannot speak. Believe in truth. Question. Never accept the reality of the world with which we are presented. As Christoph stated in The Truman Show, which you all watched this year in your English 12 classes. Be Truman. Sail your boat into the end of the world and take a leap into that door of darkness, the great unknown. Go out there and impact the world. Class of 2021, it has been a joy and a privilege to teach and know so many of you as the wonderful humans that you are. Good luck, Godspeed, may the force be with you, and the odds be ever in your favor. Peace and love. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tancredi. And now for our final speaker of today's ceremony, I would like to introduce Christian Johnson, who will share some reflections on behalf of the class of 21.
I never saw myself doing such an incredible thing, and I don't mean that in a boastful way. In today's times, it's possible for anyone to do it. It's serious that we realize just how important this graduation will be, and I'd like to share my point of view with some of you in the hopes that you will agree. The things we've endured, from the feeling we first felt when told to be closing, to the feeling we have now, you could probably write a couple books about it. People of all ages have a story to tell, but ours is more unique. This is where we celebrate our completion of school and progressed to adulthood. But in order to do those things, we have to do that in a new reality. Regulation this, regulation that. It still takes getting used to. Having this being a part of school still takes getting used to. This moment right now will be one to remember. We still experience good memories, and I implore you to remember that. I'm just going to generalize what I think a majority of us will agree to. We've been through hell. We all have. Everyone has. I'm surprised someone like me was able to get through to the other side. There were a lot of times where I felt like the only one in the hallways before and after the schools closed. But moving forward, I would like to thank the following teachers for having an impact on me at one point in time at my years at Dakota. Mr. Walker, Mr. Voss, Dr. McFarland, Miss Roberts, and Miss Lopicolo. You might forget me, but I will never forget you. I also want to briefly mention the people I called my friends. I truly hope I've done some good for you. Even if we're no longer friends today, I will never forget the good times we had. Those who will travel away, I can only hope the best for you. I'm still trying to find the reasons for what gave me that push in high school. What were yours? Whatever your answer is, those are going to be the stories you tell your children and your children's children. People who don't exist now will want to know, and not just the COVID stories, but the stories leading up to those stories. We have many, many memories to share before our junior year. During my freshman year, I was shaking so much on my way to the bus stop. I had no idea what to expect, and I let my thoughts get the best of me. But look where I'm at today. I made some friends, lost some friends, tried new things, and the list could go on. And despite my attitude at times, I'm proud to be a Cougar. I'm proud that this is where our graduation is happening. I'm not everyone's favorite, and I'm well aware of that, but I don't really care. I'm still happy to be graduating with all of you. To everyone, I can only hope that those who are currently experiencing sadness or depression, along with many other conflicts, find their way out. The Dalai Lama, who is believed to be a reincarnation of his predecessors, is the head of state and spiritual leader of the Tibetan government. He said, if you harbor hateful thoughts or intense anger deep within yourself, then it ruins your health, thus destroys one of the factors for happiness. It's important to find that true happiness before your ship is sunk. Some will have an ego that's telling them they're fine. It's okay not to be fine. In certain circumstances, but it's really essential you treat yourself and others with kindness to achieve that happiness. Emotional intelligence is a very important thing. I say this because I wasn't always treated with kindness, nor did I always treat myself or others with the kindness I or they deserved. None of it felt good, I'll tell you that. But if you are successful and if you are happy, you will be satisfied when your journey ends. I did a ton of reflection in the early days of the pandemic to come up with these thoughts. Maybe I sound hysterical, hopefully I make sense. Again, to everyone that has made an impact in my life, thank you. I really appreciate you. To the staff, thank you for showing up and answering my questions. And to my family, I want to thank my mom for being there for me and replace the one I lost when I was 5. I wouldn't even be on this stage today if it weren't for her. And not speaking, I mean I wouldn't even have graduated high school. I hope everyone is thankful for at least a few things. Thank you. I hope everyone is thankful for at least a few things besides school being over. We've been doing it our whole lives, so there has to be at least one thing you can think of. It's been a pleasure growing up with you and going on a trip called life. I seriously hope the best for all of you with whatever you do after this, whether it's more schooling or not. Congratulations to all of you and to all of us, and in my correct opinion, the class of 2021 is the most unique graduating class in history. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. And now, Mr. Roberts and the Board of Education, it is my pleasure to present to you, on behalf of the DHS faculty, the members of the Dakota High School class of 2021, who have successfully fulfilled the graduation requirements as set forth by the Chippewa Valley Board of Education for the bestowing of their high school diplomas. Reading the names of our graduates will be Dakota teachers, Ms. Stacy Comerford and Mr. Rob Allaire. The first students to cross our stage to receive their diplomas today will be the summa cum laude graduates of the class of 2021.
Danielle Percival.
Jennifer Jaster.
Evan Varga.
Angela Abu.
Christian Palushai.
Daniel Furman.
Corey Tobolski. Emma Robinson.
This is the end of our Summa graduates. Oh, this one too? Sorry. Oh, excuse me. Henry Huang.
Abraham Stewart.
Is that the end of Summas? All right, I think that concludes our Summas for this year's graduation. Congratulations. Christian Dukai.
Michelle Taramy.
Livia Dossie.
Stephanie White.
Carter Detloff.
Lauren Mount.
Addison Gorzelski.
Natalie Strader.
Sabrina Despek.
Ashley Rodriguez.
Kayla Despek.
Catherine Setters.
Kobe I. Chapman.
Gina Roti.
Alyssa Berg.
Stephanie Reyes.
Caitlin Frank.
Fox Primo.
Julia Huminski.
Christian Johnson.
Lauren Hartman.
Umari Perkins.
Andrew Andrus.
Trevor Lowe.
Connor Kuzno.
Nicholas Wilkie.
Philip Jankowski.
Zacharias Nasser.
Ethan Gomez.
Jesse Woodman.
Kayla Jarvis.
Savario Morisi.
Elizabeth Jankovic.
David Ristovsky.
Kyle Coolwick.
Andrea Montenegro Zepeda.
Kyle Kirk.
Kaylee Zurilli.
Troy Kiles Jr.
Madeline Watson.
Diamond Bethay.
Benjamin Moore.
Alexis Isaac.
Preston Leon.
Emily Burgess.
David McFadden.
Sartrez Cheney.
Eric Reese.
Price James.
Uko Umano.
Ryan Blevins Flack.
Aiden Wazinski.
Olivia DiMeglio.
Reese Blake.
Trevor Crone.
Emma Mizik.
Brendan Coop.
Isaiah Sanders.
Jaden DeBakey.
Devin Walker.
Conan Crowley.
Nicholas Stowecki.
Alexander Gwynn.
Zachary Mullins.
Brandon Brown.
Angelo Moeller.
Damian Furman.
Tyler Monroe.
Juliana Kowalski.
Nicholas Sarauer.
Justin Dixon.
Jack Webster.
Owen Fisher.
Elijah Nichols.
Jordan Jefferson.
Lanaya Nichols.
Corbin Cook.
Blake Stevens.
Manuel Gardia.
Dominic Romanelli.
Peter Gushinski.
Alec McQuarrie.
Evan Gravatas.
Maggie Lazary.
Gerald Juarez.
Joseph Merkler.
Sean Dale.
Galarmi Modelli.
Hilda Albanosh.
Carrion Murphy.
Chloe Krozik.
Jordan Rice Reno.
Alfred Brown.
Andrew Palmer.
Jack Kors.
Lisa Merdita.
Brian Ailey.
Kijane Thomas.
David Javosky.
Samantha Rozak.
Michaela Gurjikian.
Juan Pineros Vivas.
Jessica Bennett.
Tyler Sam.
Caitlin Galloway.
Colindo Indoa.
Fairman.
Jack Wazalewski.
Farah Bomarito.
Dylan Laskowski.
Mark Hunter.
Austin Lukai.
Ayana Dees.
Jacob Musheri.
Amanda Genie.
Samuel Monticelli.
Joshua Hines.
Alexander Vasoski.
Gavin Garland.
Elijah Strickland.
Pervale Blackley.
Maya Dino.
Alexander Ivanovsky.
Michael Sunda.
Lorena Denai.
Matthew Miller.
Zoe Glokowski.
Shane Wilemski.
Olivia Goshai.
Viswa Panisami.
Adele Bryant.
Laith Shockett.
Adelisa Jakupovic.
Brooklyn Shock. Elma Okanovic. Alyssa Pease. Logan Willis. Cecilia Rose Smith. Savion Wakefield. Glenn Washington Jr. Draco Seymour. Anthony Amir Muckle. Tim Wen. Justin Morrison. Valeria Murillo. Juan Rico. Donovan Shaman. Gwendolyn Zielinski. Anthony Spickerman. Jack Torpy. Peter Yee. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dakota High School class of 2021.
And now I would like to invite Selena Fadhil, your president, back to the podium to lead the turning of the tassels.
Okay, graduates, please stand. Congratulations, class of 2021. We did it. Please join me in turning your tassels from right to left in 3, 2, 1.
Congratulations again. The final component of today's ceremony will be one last graduation tradition, the celebratory graduation cap toss. Graduates, at this time we want you to turn and face the audience as our photographers make their way up into the bleachers. Today's wind is out of the south. It's a left to right wind, so just be aware as to where your cap is going to go. And we encourage you to throw your cap in the air at a comfortable height that will allow you to catch it easily or retrieve it because it lands nearby. All right, I think we're ready. All right, I'm going to go the other way and count up. So on the count of 3, starting with 1, we're going to toss the caps. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, everyone, once you have found your cap, please return to your seat. I've got about 90 seconds more of just some tying up loose ends here at the end of the ceremony, and then we'll begin the recessional. I promise this speaking segment is very short. Class of 21, I want to congratulate you one final time. We are proud of you and everything you have accomplished as students at Dakota High School, and we look forward to watching what you achieve as the newest class of proud Dakota alumni. We wish each and every one of you all the best on your future. Before we begin the recessional, I have 2 more items to address. First, it was unfortunate that we were unable to have a senior all-night party this year. However, that didn't stop our Senior Celebrations Parent Volunteer Committee from raising an unbelievable sum of funds to provide all of our graduates with a wonderful parting gift that features valuable gift cards as well as customized Dakota memorabilia and more. I want to thank Ms. Shawn Lyons, Senior Celebrations Committee Chair, and her entire committee for their dedication to the fundraising efforts that are making today's gifts to our students possible. Graduates, each of you will receive your gift as you process out of the stadium to pick up your diploma. Again, thank you to our incredibly supportive parent committee. And second, remember everyone, we're not done yet. The final senior event for the class of 21 is our senior send-off this Tuesday on campus here from 3 to 6. We're going to have music, photo backdrops, food trucks, and more to celebrate one more time. Everyone is welcome. And now we will prepare to begin the recessional to close today's ceremony. Graduates, please remain at your seats until directed to join the recessional by staff ushers. Spectators, please remain at your seats until the processional is finished. Spectators sitting to the south of the press box, please exit to the south concessions area. And those sitting north of the press box, please exit to the north courtyard area at the north end of the stadium. Parents and other guests are more than welcome to meet their graduates after they've picked up their diploma and senior celebration gift bag in the stadium parking lot behind the bleachers. This concludes the spoken portion of the 2021 Dakota High School Commencement Ceremony. Wind Symphony and ushers, we will now start the recessional.